Hi, I'm Rachel Gable. I'm the assistant editor of the Fence Post magazine, and this is your Fair Cattle Markets update for May 6th. I spent talking to lots of guys who know way more about the cattle market than I do all day today, and boy, it's really kind of a perfect storm, and it's interesting how we came to this inverted trade yesterday. Of course, June cattle futures traded lower yesterday than June lean hog futures, which I understood that it was the first time that that's happened in my lifetime. But Clay Patton, who's at KRVN in Nebraska, said he did some digging and it happened in '01. But prior to that, certainly has been quite a while. So Brian Irie over at Crossroads Co-op in Greeley said that part of the equation is these corn prices. And I told my husband today when we were, right after I mentioned that I needed some flaked corn for cattle for the rations, I mentioned what corn traded at today. And he did not drive off the road, but it was close. So Brian was telling me that the reason those corn prices are so high is because 2019, those guys, especially even in the Corn Belt, went into June trying to get all of those corn acres planted. So the USDA estimates were way off. The yields were overestimated. And then 2019, we found ourselves in a very dry year. And then, of course, 2020 was such a train wreck. And then when Trump negotiated some trade with China, China made much larger corn purchases than anyone had anticipated because, everyone was kind of thinking that their hog herd numbers in China had gone down so much. Well, they still made these huge corn purchases, which have only been about 65%, I think he said, have been fulfilled. So with the low yields, post-pandemic ethanol firing back up and more need for that, it's all just kind of come to a head, and those corn prices are just enough to make a cattle feeder an old man. So I spoke to Kevin Good at Cattle Facts today, and he said that what we're seeing too is a story of leverage and lack thereof. The May 4th inversion, he said he agreed, was rare. And he said that close to record high beef prices paired with stout hog futures prices were both reflecting the fact that pork production is estimated at 2% lower year over year, and the slaughter capacity is 10% higher than it was in 2015. So they've got some leverage. These hog guys have an opportunity to take advantage of this. Cattle guys, however, we're still trying to get through this backlog. And we can see that based on the weights on these carcasses. They're higher year over year. We're still working through that. And then, on the cattle side, we've got more cattle to get through. No additional shackle space within the industry in the last several years, 5 years probably. So that's kind of where we are. He said that processing is in better shape, but we're still working through those numbers, and that's really causing some problems. Ed Serwin, who of course is an Amarillo, Texas-based analyst who has basically done everything in the industry. I really appreciate Ed's insight. He said that really comparing prices to 2015 is the way to do it, because 2015 box beef prices would have been similar. It was a normal grilling season. There was no pandemic. And the weighted average was similar. So load counts are going down, which he said is pretty common. Those feeders just aren't buying as many. Good grief. And gosh, these poor feeders. I'm hoping to visit with some feeders that I'm not related to tomorrow, and I just feel bad calling and asking them. So, how's it going with $7, $8 corn? It's just a terrible, terrible situation to be in. So, digging more into the market, I've got some more calls tomorrow, and I'll certainly bring you the full recap of the mess. It's not going to be motivational at all, but it will be the truth. So I'll be bringing that to you. If you're in Colorado, I would like to let you know that it is the pause petition is being circulated. Probably not in my hometown or yours, but in probably the Broomfield, Boulder, Denver area. It is being circulated, even though we're still waiting to go before the Supreme Court to find out about the ruling. I think it's surprising that they're doing that. It seems like a little bit premature use of time and resources, especially when they have a limited number of days to get those signatures, but really it's such a low amount of signatures that they're probably not too worried. But that is being circulated. So if you found yourself in a conversation about that, boy, remind people not to sign that. This has nothing to do with animal welfare. It has nothing to do with treatment of animals. It's very much forced veganism. So I'll also have some new information about that this week. And I'll also be doing some coverage this month. May, of course, is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I think that that's something I hear tones of when I speak to a lot of people. So certainly if you have something to contribute to that conversation, I'm all ears. You can reach out to me in a number of ways. My contact information is all over the place. So I hope that you are having a great end to your week. I hope you guys up north got a little bit more rain. It was kind of drizzling here earlier today, which is kind of strange, but at any rate, have a wonderful week. I'm Rachel Gable. I'll see you tomorrow.